there are Renaissance men, and then there's Hunter Biden. This guy has a whole lot of different things in his background of life. He's a fascinating character, made more so by the fact that the media has thrown out all objectivity about how they would normally cover, particularly a Republican president's adult child, right? We're not talking about kids. Kids should be off limits. Anybody under 18 that's related to a politician. But when you're talking about somebody who's, in their late 40s, early 50s, I feel like we could treat them like an adult. And I think the media could too, but they choose not to. That all said, Hunter Biden is an artiste. You may not have known this before. This is true. This is real. He's got art to sell as much as $500,000. He's going to be selling art for as much as that, and the buyers will be kept confidential. Now, let me say, before we show you some of these masterpieces that I'm sure will be hanging in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in just a matter of months, before we show you what this guy's up to, let's just remember that if you were to try to do this, if you were a politician, let's say in office, and you took up painting, and all of a sudden someone started, mysterious anonymous buyers were buying your random amateur crappy paintings for $500,000, this would be considered perhaps money laundering and a bribe. This would not be acceptable, but because it's going to the son of a politician in this case, because I guess they kind of already tried the whole put him on a board seat, pay him $80,000 a month and don't have him do anything. They already tried that routine. This one is a different way of funneling money to the first family. Let's take a look at some of Hunter's paintings, shall we? That is, what the heck is that? It's like it looks like Mars maybe, and or seashells or something. Is it like a chicken with a drumstick, or is it, this is like a Rorschach test, folks. I don't really know. Is that some kind of amoeba? Is this what you see under a microscope if you turn it in color? I don't even know. I don't know what that is. It all does look a bit like what escaped from the Wuhan lab, though. I'll say that. It's like he's doing his own version of, COVID in color or something, and that's what it looks like to me. Would any of you, real talk here, folks, would I have to pay you $500,000 to hang that up in your home? Probably. Maybe $50,000, maybe not $500,000, but I think I'd have to pay you to put that up. So just keep that one in mind. But Hunter Biden is going to be making a whole bunch of money as an artiste. You say it out loud, it's hard to believe that this is the world we live in. Other things that are said out loud that are noteworthy. Joe Biden, the actual president, recently repeated something that you will constantly hear from the media, from Democrat politicians. And here's the problem with it. It's not true. They insist on saying that there was a murder of law enforcement that occurred on January 6th during the riot. That is not accurate. There was not any police officer who was murdered that day. We have no real evidence to support that assertion, unless you want to say that a person dying of a heart attack a day after their job as a police officer is caused by the day before's events. I mean, this is, and even still, is that a murder? Police officers have to deal with a lot of high-stress situations. They have to break up a lot of, Democrat riots on a regular basis. That's just like the way things are. But anyway, Joe Biden repeated this lie. Here's what he said.
That's a ridiculous comparison. It's one thing for literally criminals to break through cordon, go into the Capitol, kill a police officer, and be held unaccountable. And it is for people objecting and marching on the Capitol and saying, you are not allowing me to speak freely.
Didn't kill a police officer. Actually, one of the officers, the one that's best known, Officer Sicknick, died of a stroke, although there are other people, other officers and other individuals who had coronary issues after this event on January 6th. Anyway, they're going to keep saying it because the so-called insurrection is the justification for the trampling of civil rights and civil liberties of conservatives now, because we're all somehow tied to this insurrection. You may have had absolutely nothing to do with it. I'm sure you didn't if you're watching this. In fact, I'm certain you didn't. And you may, like me, very much think that it was really stupid and not support it at all as an incident, and yet you're still supposed to be tainted by it.